Okay, so what we're going to do here, guys, is another little quick series. I don't know how quick it'll be. Knowing me, it'll be 55 parts on heavy weathering of German World War II tanks. Now, I haven't found a lot of photographic evidence of a really super heavy weathered tank like this. This is more of an artistic rendition of weathering. So what we started off, we've got the general paint. This case, this is all MIG paints, MIG ammo. Yes, MIG ammo paints. They're late war color set. You guys can do the research. I'll check the numbers later on, but for now, what we've done is we painted this. This is done with an airbrush. So the first thing we're gonna do is start some real heavy chipping. And there's a couple ways we can do this. We can do it with a small pointed brush, but we're going to try a whole bunch of different techniques on this one. So what I've done is I've actually gotten some of this sponge from a Pelican box and just cut it up into small little squares like this, and with a tweezers like that, I'm just using some Vallejo surface primer, black and red brown mix to give it kind of a muddy black brown color, and we're just going on, we're dipping it in, then we're going to take the bulk of it off like here and then just stipple it on. Light is better than heavy. If you build up to it, is better than just doing it all in one go. Do it on the edges and stuff where you'd get significant wear and tear. Maybe not so much where there isn't a lot of foot traffic in that, so keep it more where the vehicle is going to go. Now that's the first stage in chipping. Now it's going to be awfully harsh and awfully garish and awfully in your face, but this is all these chips are going to get toned down. So, you know, something subtle like that, that looks not too bad. Next thing we're doing is we're using the filter from MIG again. This is tan for traditional camo. You don't need to use something like a pre-made filter. Just some odorless thinner and some oil paints done up to the color that you like, and you can start putting some streaking in. You can see there on the turret, very subtle brown streaking versus over here how clean that late war German yellow is. And this is just going to be the first step is the chipping and the first filter. It's not really a wash because we are leaving it streaky and grimy looking. So we'll do the whole vehicle with the filter, doing vertical streaks, bringing it down. Let gravity be your guide wherever it would be. You can start with a brush like this, and you're just going to put it on, and you're just going to bring it down. And if you don't like a round brush, then find just a cheap wide brush like this, and then just bring it from top down. So we're going to start with that filter, and then we're going to go ahead and finish up the entire model with that filter. So I'm going to try and do this left-handed. So we've got just a moderate amount of paint on this brush. We're just going to bring it down. Now you can see how, oh dude, that's just way too heavy. Oh yeah, absolutely, that's way too heavy. You definitely don't want to leave it like this. But this is where you start with it. So just give it a couple minutes just for a little bit of the thinner to evaporate. And you want to work with it, almost make it work dry. And then you can take the same brush here, just wipe it off on a shop towel like I am here so it's dry. And now you can just start bringing it down. Just bringing it down. Just happy little trees, happy little tiger tank. You just want to bring your brush down and make a happy little, yeah, watch Bob Ross. Anyway, so you're just going to do that, and you can see that it's still kind of wet and still really heavily streaked. It's not very subtle. So we're just going to let this paint cure off a bit, and then we'll just take the brush back and just work it really subtle. Now we've let our tiger sit overnight. You can see the vertical sections have been done, or the horizontal sections are, no. Sorry guys, I'm still a little bit effed up from this concussion. So what we're going to do now is just put a filter on here on the flat surfaces. As you can see, that's really that's a little bit harsh, a little bit much. So what we're going to do is we're just going to actually work it in and then scrub it in. Try and blend in all these really harsh streaking effects. And we'll get the back plate here as well. Okay, so our next step is AK streaking grime. Now remember guys, you don't need to use these expensive products. I know I for one will probably never ever spend the money on this kind of stuff again. I've got it, so I'll use it. And an inexpensive oil paint and some odorless thinner, mix it up, same thing. So we're going to keep this streaking grime more to the lower hull where mud and grunge may have built up. And remember, what will happen is we will lose some of our other streaking grime that we've already put on. So this is a little harsher color, a little stronger color, and I'm just using it to more where the mud and the grunge would have splashed up. Now we'll also be doing some airbrushing here. What I'm going to do is make this into the fall of 45. Wait, what? Glock, what you lost your brain? The war was over in the spring of 45. Well, this is a what if video. This is a model that's going to be to explain the amount of weathering on this very late Tiger. It has to be older than a few weeks. And some of these late model Tigers, quite literally 10 or 12 days, 4 or 5 days from the time they hit the front lines to when they get knocked out on the western side. So we're going to do a what if diorama, what if model that it actually the war. Let's say that friggin' the Battle of the Bulge. Was it Operation East Wind? Ooster Wind? I can't remember. Whatever it was there, the Germans' final push into the Ardennes. What if that would have succeeded and they managed to push the Allies back and take the port of Antwerp? You know, that could have added months to the war, maybe even years. So that's the supposition we're going for to explain this extremely heavily weathered tank. So it's the same thing. We're just going to go all around the lower hull with our streaking grime and just drawing down on it, and then we'll start doing a little bit more detailed streaks. Okay, now one thing you need to keep in mind, guys, this is not a fast process of using oil streaking and oil weathering like this. You have to let each coat dry. And sometimes some take longer than others to dry. This the streaking grime takes a lot longer than the filter to dry because it has more of pigment in it. The filter, the tan filter for traditional tricolor camo, is a lot more thinner and it flashes off much quicker and dries a lot quicker. Whereas these have more of an oil, more pigment in them, and they take longer to dry. So keep in mind that once this is cured and dried, you're going to have to seal it with either a Vallejo matte varnish, but some type of an acrylic varnish, either semi-gloss or gloss. I prefer using flat at this point. Streaking and filters don't work really well on a glossy surface. So we're going to have to put this aside for a few hours now so that we can let it cure and throw a coat of matte varnish on it, and then we'll hit the rust streaks and the rest of it.